Back for more here on the Argonaut Weekly at GoArgos.com. Time for our women's basketball season in review. Rob Walden along with head coach Shannan Bergen. The women's team went 11-15 this season, 4-8 in GSC play. So, Coach, I know not quite the season that you guys were hoping for. Picked in the upper four in the division to start the season. Had some big wins, especially a nice closing stretch where you won 3 consecutive games. Overall, though, give us your thoughts on the season.
It was disappointing. Yeah, I thought we started out the season real strong. And, we came back after Christmas break and, got on a losing streak. And, and then we had a rough go the first half of the conference season. And then down the stretch we did, we'd end up, going on a 3-game winning streak and beating Lambeth. And then we beat, West Alabama, who at the time was number 8 in the region, and then had a big win over Valdosta State as well. So, yeah, it was very disappointing. But, learned a lot from the season. A lot of things that I think my 8 returners will carry forward for next year, things not to do. And, we are working hard so far in this postseason, and we're excited to get back at it next year.
You guys started 0-5 in conference play, finished 4-8 though, so you won 4 out of your last 7. Do you feel like, and obviously you can't do this, but if you could press reset on the conference season and play it all again, do you feel like you guys could be in the upper half of the GSC East and qualify for the tournament? Because certainly those final 3 or 4 weeks, you guys are among the best teams in the league.
Absolutely. And that's every day I think about it, and it's going to be a long summer sitting and thinking about it. And yes, there were some changes that had to be made. Once those changes were made, the program really, obviously moved in the direction that we anticipated all year long. So, once again, there was a big learning experience this year, not only for myself, but for, my athletes. And, I was really proud of how we did finish. We could have folded and ended up, not winning our last 4 out of 7 games.
Sure.
So, the 8 returners that we have, great nucleus, great group. Obviously with the newcomers that we're looking at signing and bringing in, we hope that they mesh and, some good things are to come for women's basketball.
Shannan Scott was your leading scorer this season, finished second team all GSC, was certainly instant offense, could get hot for 4 or 5 minutes, even for an entire game, put up 20, 25 points in a heartbeat. Loved to shoot the outside shot and was very solid for you guys on the perimeter all season long.
Yeah, she had a slow start, to the year, and she really started coming on, at the second part of the semester, and, and she's just so hard to guard. She can shoot over 6'1", 6'2", and she's great shooting off the dribble. She's got that athleticism that, obviously you can't teach, and it makes it very difficult for any team to put their best defender on her because she can just, shoot over them. So her second team all-conference selection was, I thought, very admirable for her, and, I think it'll be a good lead-in for her for next year. I thought Octavia Bearden also ended up the second half of the year, producing and really coming on strong for us. And, we had some other kids, Kelsey Hughes, a freshman, really started getting some minutes down the stretch, and she really, really improved, and we're really looking for her to continue to improve at that point guard spot. So, so there's a lot of good things in the youth in our program.
Yeah, down low, really a strength for you guys. You touched on Octavia, and she really caught fire at the end, averaged better than 16 a game over the last 8, really raised her scoring average over the final month of the season. When you end a season on such a hot streak like that, as Octavia did individually, and then you have 8 months to kind of sit on it, how do you turn that into quality off-season workouts, and how do you make sure that momentum is still there when next season starts in November?
I thought we ended on a really good note, and I think as disappointing as we were this season, for me, I thought it was wonderful for them to understand that, we did end on a good note, and that, the season was a disappointment and that we could have done so much better. So, I think that's a real bright spot for us. I think if we would have just crashed, I think that would have, there wouldn't have been a lot of motivation. But, these 8 kids that, we've been working with, so far the last couple weeks since we've been done, their motivation has been just off the charts. And, and I know they're already excited about next year. That's all they've been talking about. And, we're doing a lot of great individual workouts with them. And, it just, I feel really good about, where we're at, even though the year was extremely disappointing.
Keandria Merriweather has been a defensive star for you guys for 3 seasons. Her first 2 was almost exclusively a defensive stopper. Really started to add that offensive layer to her game towards the second half of the 2010-2011 season. If she can continue to gain confidence on the offensive end, she's a player that defensively certainly has a spot in the lineup and can be a real dangerous threat for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, she's just so athletic, and she's just, her offense really did come on, down the stretch, and we've been working on it with her, and I think a little bit of it for her is just the confidence. She's really never been asked to be a scorer, and we've really worked hard on it, and that's one of the things that we're doing now, and having her be a better offensive threat for us, because she is such a great defensive player. We want her on the court, but we also want her to be able to knock down shots. And another kid, Desiree Doty, she was shooting almost 40% from the 3-point line, and it was a solid starter for us. And and she got a stress fracture, and she was out for almost 6 weeks. And when she came back, she just never regrouped. It's hard to be out for 6 weeks sidelined and just to come back and really get yourself in the flow of things. So losing her and her 3-point shooting ability really hurt us down the stretch as well. So when I look at my 8 kids coming back with Emily Erland, who got some great minutes down the stretch and hit a lot of big threes for us in our wins, and some of our freshmen who Victoria Cecil and Monique Thurman, they were kind of sidelined down the stretch too. One had a issue with her heart, and the other one had an issue with some other things, so we kind of lost them as well. So it was kind of really sporadic coming down the stretch, but they stuck tough, and I think they're all back and just working hard right now and ready to get some work done over the summer to come back in the fall ready to go. So
you've got 8 returners that should clear 4, maybe 5, 6 spots for newcomers to come in and join the roster. I know outside shooting, getting that consistent 3-point threat was one of the team's real weaknesses this season. I got to think that's a spot that you guys are recruiting. Where else, when you and assistant coaches Jesse Ivey and Laura Davis, when you guys hit the recruiting trail, what are the issues you guys are really looking to address to beef up the roster for next year?
Well, first and foremost, we're looking for kids that want to come in and be team players. Kids that we feel like we can. We're really looking at a lot of freshmen, incoming freshmen, young kids that we feel like we can get some continuity in our program, that we can build and develop, and who will really impact us as they start to grow in our program. Shooters, exactly. When we lost Desiree Doty, that really hurt us, and a lot of teams started zoning us, and that obviously was a big weakness of ours. And just some more physical play inside. We'd like to get a couple 6'1", 6'2" beefy kids, that can really hit the boards and take up some space. A couple teams we faced this year, we kind of got out, pushed underneath, and we don't want that to happen again. We feel really good about Kelsey Hughes coming back as our point guard. We're probably looking at signing another one. It's never good to go into a season with only one, and because unfortunate things sometimes happen. So, and just some kids that like you said, some kids that can knock it down a little bit better, and and better defensive players. We felt like we want to keep our opponents below 60 is our goal, and we didn't do that a lot this year. So we need to find some kids that really want to get down and dirty and get the job done defensively as well.
You do lose 4 seniors: Jessica Young, Lauren Fagler, Chelsea Turgeon, Chrissy Diggs. Talk about what that quartet brought to your program. Chelsea, I know the only 4-year player. Chrissy and Jessica in the program for 3, Lauren for 2. Talk about what you're losing with those 4 moving on into the professional world.
Yeah, Chrissy did a nice job, for us at the point guard position. She came off an ACL, so this year, it took her a while to get her feet back under her, and the second half of the year she was pretty steady for us. And of course Jessica Young, just on the board, she's just a beast, and that'll be something that we'll look to replace. Even though I thought Octavia, down the stretch, I mean, she was averaging 2-3 double-doubles, so she really, I think, can help with the rebounding for us. And Lauren was a solid player, and Chelsea Turgeon, she was a hard worker for us, and so we appreciate all the efforts that those kids did, and we're just excited to move forward, and we think that we can really do some great things.
Well, Coach, we appreciate getting to work with you, and looking forward to next season. No question about it. Best of luck in the off season, and feel free to stop by anytime.
All right, we appreciate that.
All right, 11-15 for the women's basketball team this season. Looking to work hard in the off season and get back into that GSC tournament next year. Of course, you can follow all the off season progress of the UWF women's basketball program right here at GoArgos.com.